Welcome back to the workshop, everybody. So today we start out with a comedy of errors. This 13th edition of the SRM was filled with a lot of footage that was completely unusable, wiring that decided it didn't want to take solder, even with the ample application of flux, and just not a very nice time. Eventually we persevere through it and get everything kind of hooked up and working for the most part. Still got a long ways to go. But anyway, what I'm doing right now is setting up the input plug. I got to run a couple jumpers that go between the current or the fuse side and the on-off switch, and then also the ground side, because the on-off switch kills both the power and the ground. After having so much difficulty with the first wires I was using, I switched to a complete different source for my wire, hoping that it'll perform a little better. It seems to be doing a decent job now. But here I'm just pre-wetting the wires with solder, just that way then all I gotta do is apply heat when I attach it to the terminals, and it'll make everything a lot easier. I fully understand why in big industry they just crimp connector them, because it's a lot more consistent and a lot faster. This soldering was a royal pain, and probably won't be doing that on future units, other than maybe one or two critical connections. Now that I have the wiring all finished on the plug assembly, I'm setting it all into the actual housing and installing the 3 screws that hold everything together. This then just gets mounted into in between the 2 power supplies, and the 2 leads go to each individual power supply. Up next, I'm putting together the end stops, 3 end stops in total. The way I have them configured, they're in the normally open position, and then you can wire them up to the other terminal, which is the normally closed position, and that'll it could act as a good fail-safe. But yeah, now I'm just doing the layout of the wire runs, make sure I run them a little bit long, and now going through and installing each individual stop. So it moved. Yay! That's a good sign. So we'll do a firmware flash on it and then finish hooking up all the power stuff because the bed's still not hooked up at all. I just wanted to see if it would actually move and function the way it was supposed to, but so far it looks promising. Anyway, yeah, and I had to use this older board because this controller is not configured for this board, which is easy enough to change. I just got to enable it when I do the firmware, which will fix the movement. So the Y and the X movements are, or Y and the Z movements are reversed for this particular application. But anyway, that's that. So I guess we'll call this a video and bring you back next time when we're actually all hooked up proper.